Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Pass and Pivot, the netball podcast that speaks about all things South African netball and all things netball. I'm your host, Zola Nyembezi, and welcome back to episode 11. I can't believe we've made it so far. And we have so much to speak about. We have had the Telkom Netball League come to an end, and we know who our winners are, we know who our player of the tournaments are, we know all the things that we need to know. But this episode will be focusing more of the behind the scenes of the Telkom Netball League and just a few of my thoughts. Next week, I'll be joined by other netball heads sharing and going into more detail in the game analysis and breaking down what actually happened at Telkom Netball League in Power Week 3 in the finals and the semis. And obviously, I'm hoping that by then, Netball South Africa would have released their Commonwealth Games squad, and we can talk about that. So that's something to look forward to for next week. But for now, let's jump into our netball talking points for this week's episode. Let's go. So the first thing we'd like to speak about is we'd like to congratulate Lauren Ardendorf for a illustrious netball career spanning 10 years. She announced her retirement from netball, elite netball, in South Africa this week, and wow, what a career she's had. And she topped it off with winning the Division 2 with Tornadoes. Well deserved. She is a hard-working defender, goalkeeper, and she will stick on the goal shooter and make sure that the goal shooter's life is very hard. So well done on such a good career, Lauren. We wish you all the best carrying on after retirement. What a way to end it, hey? And then the next thing that we're going to speak about is the Telkom Netball League Season 8. Okay. Wow. What a season. What a season. I just really want to say well done to everyone who's involved in making sure that tournament was a success. Wow, guys. If you knew the things that happened behind the scenes, you guys would we would appreciate it more that we're getting such a high intensity, high returning kind of entertainment from this beautiful tournament that Telkom helps sponsor and just has put in so much time, and the executive and everyone involved has put in so much time and effort to ensure the product that they're putting on generates more eyes and generates more audience so that other sponsors can tap into it and actually, what should I say, buy into the product. I will be chatting to the CEO of Netball South Africa, Mr. Adam Brooke, to speak about a few things that I wanted to just ask him about. And he was so forthcoming and so gracious to have on the show. Thank you once again, Mr. Adam Brooke. I really, really did enjoy our interview. Hopefully we'll have another one soon to preview the Commonwealth Games, or I don't know. I really do think that we don't see the work that happens behind the scenes as supporters. So then we feel like, okay, this product could be better. But once you see the work that the people put in, like the person who was heading this was Maposha, and she is on the sidelines. She tells everyone where to go. She manages all the teams. She manages with SuperSport. She's behind the scenes making sure that things are running in the way that they need to run. And I think that we need to just give her a shout out. Well done. It has been such a beautiful tournament for us to watch, such a beautiful tournament for us to witness. And I really do think that this is just the beginning of the Telkom Netball League as we see it in a better format. And obviously, there are things that could be better, but we really need to shout out how amazing the executive is doing. And I see the difference from the previous executive to this new executive. And I love that we can see it visibly. And what better way to see it than to see the prize money that has increased so much? Guys, guys, from 200,000 in Division 1 to 400,000, that's like double. That's double. And I remember seeing Zandri Farie's face. She was just like, okay, you guys can't see me, but she was shocked. Everyone was shocked at the amount, and because no one expects it, because, you know, they hide it until they hand over the check. So the whole team just went even crazier because 400,000 is almost 500,000. That's a big substantial amount of money. Yes, we don't know where it goes. That's my next thing to find out. But it's just a reward for the teams who put in so much work and so much effort. To see that their work has been rewarded is actually so beautiful and so amazing. And 2 and 3 also get prize money. And then the Division 1 playoff relegation match, they also got 50,000. I mean, that's beautiful. That shows that Telkom really believes in the products that they have sponsored, and they want to ensure that the people who are involved, who are the players who produce the product, feel valued and appreciated. And what better way than to give money? Because I'm pretty sure that it's hard to be a player, to have to put in the time and the effort and the money. So at least you might get something back. Well done to the executive for that, and Telkom and all the other sponsors who've rallied around us. I really do believe that we're on the cusp of something beautiful as Netball South Africa and as the TNL and just as us supporters. Like, just imagine we win a medal at Commonwealth Games. That will elevate us even more. So guys, I'm so excited. Jumping ahead. But yeah, I wanted to shout out Portia because she works hard. She works hard. They all work hard. But she especially works hard because if things don't go right, it's on her. But big up to her. Big up to her. And just the standard of the media, the way that everyone is buying into this new executive and the objective and their goals, it's beautiful to witness and it's beautiful to see behind the scenes and everything that's happening. I really do think that we're on the right track, and I can't say this more. And you'll hear further in the interview that I'll put at the end of this, is that Mr. Brooke also believes in the power of marketing and the power of presenting a beautiful product, which is what our players and management are presenting right now to the world. And that's just the beginning. Now we're going to jump into a little recap of what happened in Power Week 3 of the Telkom Netball League. Let's go. I just want to say, in terms of Division 2, wow, the standard has lifted. Guys, I don't know if you watched that final, the semi-final even, before we even get to the final. The semi-final between the Tornadoes versus the Sonoblomo. Wow, the standard has lifted. And I think Sonoblomo is going to kick themselves for letting go of a 10-goal lead. And then you lose. But these things happen. But I just want to say, the level of intensity, the Kingdom Queens coming back from being 5 goals down to beating the Baobabs, who were in Division 1 last year, chef's kiss. Beautiful. And this just shows me that teams want it. Teams want it badly. They want to have the opportunity to get to Division 1 because that's where we all want to be. And well done to all the teams that were involved in that semi-final playoffs for the Division 2. Beautiful matches to watch. I really didn't know which way it would go. And I'm so happy that the Tornadoes got the win because you know what? Let's be honest. They deserved it. They deserved it. They came in there with intent. Coach Lucy knew what she wanted to do and she came and the team executed. So well done to them. But it wasn't easy. And I think that's a good thing that shows that our level of intensity has actually increased. And then to have the second and third playoffs, the Sonobloma, wow. Sonobloma, well done. You guys have come from nowhere to become a team that might take it next year if you keep your team. I just really think that they are a team that's building. Kingdom Queens, who didn't even have their coach. Let's talk about that. She wasn't even on the bench. And I think it's that whole thing of because she wasn't able to be there for one day, so she couldn't be there for the whole time. Something that we really need to fix for next year. But again, one of those things that we can work on and just improve. And wow. Well, who's this goalkeeper? Her name is Ulonwabo. Lonwabo girl, where have you been hiding? She put everything on the line in that final, guys. She was making Rihanna's life so hard. And she would come in with that intercept and then it would be clean. And I'm like, where did she come from? Guys, what a beautiful show to watch. I just wish that I could watch the full version and not just the highlights on Supersport. But again, something we're working on in the future, hopefully. Because what do you mean I can watch a whole 90-minute game, but I can't watch a 60-minute game of netball? I don't I don't know, something we would like to work on. Even if we put our netball pass, something has to give. About that also, it was sad that we couldn't see the 7 and 8 and 5 and 6 playoff for Division 2 on Friday because it wasn't broadcast. That was sad. And then shout out as well to the crowd. Wow, guys, it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful to be able to witness sold out for Saturday and for Monday. I wasn't believing Monday, but then you guys showed up. I think Rembrandt was the best place to have it. The crowd was enjoying themselves. The crowd was riding the waves. It was absolutely beautiful to watch. And then we also had some entertainment while we were waiting between the matches from artists, from dancers. And then also we had an exhibition match with the men's netball. Wow. Men's netball, keep growing. I just want to shout out the players who are playing in that game for Netball South Africa men's Spa Men's Proteas. The level of intensity, I don't think we had unlocked that level that we usually unlock when we're playing against our African brothers. We were just here. Like by here, I mean like we were great, but we could have even gotten even better. And I think the coach Dukkies is really working on his combinations, and you see the boys want to be able to play more netball. And that's also something Mr. Brooke spoke about in the interview. So there is an intent there. And I love that there is intent. Now let's do something about that intent. And I think that's where we as the supporters come in and we help push the narrative to say, we want more men's netball. We want to be able to see leagues. We want to be able to see them play games and not just, watch an exhibition match here and there. So come on, guys, let's buy into more netball, more men's netball, more netball overall. Because honestly, it's been a crazy few months of netball, and it's just about to get even crazier with the Commonwealth Games. Like, I don't even know how I'm going to cover that, but we'll get there. Anyway, coming back to Division 2. So they had their players of the tournament. Player of the tournament, rightfully so, was Rochelle Marie. She had a 92% accuracy with 98 super shots. I'm just going to leave it there. I don't know what the math is for that. 98 times 2. I'm not a math person, so I don't know. But she was on fire. And I think she is the barometer of the team for the Baobabs. I don't know if she'll be with the Baobabs next season. Because, I mean, if I was Fireballs, I would snap her up because we all know Sammy's going to go. It's just written in the stars. Sammy's going to go and we can't be out here wanting. So come on, let's put our ducks in a row and let's sign this girlie. She deserves it. Then we had defender of the tournament, Asemahle Diidi from Tornadoes. I would have given it to Keletso Honto from Diamonds, the GD. I think she just kept going, but I don't know if because she wasn't there that they wanted to give it to someone who was there, but I would have given it to her personally because I really do think she showed up for her team. Shame, it's so sad about the Diamonds, how they dipped her. I had faith. But anyway, they'll come back next season. Then we had the mid-quarter of the tournament, Lara Ehlers. That girl doesn't stop running. Like, 4 quarters on center and she was never changed. And I was like, I understand why. She just runs into the pockets. She defends. She's a menace, a future Protea, a future Spa Protea. I can see it. Give her 4-5 more years and she will break into that center role. The shooter of the tournament was Apiwe Tusini. I think that her accuracy was like 96% or something like that. But she scored a lot of goals for her team. And she stood up in that final. I really love how she plays. She's calm, cool. And when she wants the ball, give her the ball because she will sink the ball. Well done to Apiwe. She really did stand up in the final. And I really didn't expect the final to be so close. That it was a 1-goal win for Tornadoes. Wow. And at some point, I think in the 4th quarter, the Queens were up by 4. I did not expect that from the Queens. And I'm sorry for underestimating the Queens. But wow, well done. Well done to them. But then, guys, what would have happened? Kingdom Queens versus Kingdom Stars? No, I'm glad it didn't happen. But it's just interesting to see what will happen if that ever happens. And now going into what you guys are all here for anyway is my team of the tournament for Division 2. Here we go. So at GS, none other than Rihanna Noah from Tornadoes. Deservedly so, guys. I just think that she stood up once again in the relegation match with Kingdom Stars. She had a lot of physicality on her, but she remained accurate and she remained steadfast. She knew what the goal was. GA, Rochelle Marie. she really just needs to go to Fast Five. They need to bring Fast Five back because we would win that now. Imagine her and Zandri Smith. We would win. Then we have the wing attack, Yanni Berg. I really think she stood up for me in the semis, and she had to stand up because I think they were saving Adri Kannemeyer for the finals because they assumed they'd get to the final, which is fine. But I think Yanni was very steady in the past 2 power weeks, and she gave leadership in that mid-court when it was needed most, especially when they had to come back from 10 goals down. Come on, guys. Well done to her. And she does come from Jaguars, so she does have that Division 1 experience. Then our center would be Jo Marie Lube. Really think she did the right thing moving to Sonoblomo. She brings stability and she has a voice there. She's the captain and she can hold that team down. They are a young team, and I think her experience of Division 1 from Northwest Flames really helped solidify third place for Sonobloma. Then my wing defense would be Kekeletso Molotsi. I watched this girl. She did not let the wing attack breathe. So she did not let Yanni Berg breathe for a second in the first 2 quarters of the semi-final match. And then I think maybe tiredness and just fatigue came through, but she has been a standout for me in wing defense, as well as the wing defense for the Baobabs. She was also good in Power Week 3, but I really think Ukikeletso Molotsi a little bit outshone the rest of the wing defenses because she did her job for the first 2 quarters and it was beautiful. Goal defense, again, Keletso, deservedly so. She fits in. She gives me a bit of Cornelia Mopenda vibes. She's still new to the TNL, and with a few years under her belt and Varsity Cup, she's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Then my G, it has to be Lonwabo Kumalo. I'm sorry, Lauren, but this girl, she almost got the Queens the win on the final for Division 2. And I really think, guys, don't sleep on her. Don't sleep on Ulonwabo Khumalo. She actually might need to come to Stars if Tulisile and Goji go somewhere else. Not that I know that they would, but I think they do, just between you and I. Then my impact players are Lauren Ardendorf, Hannah Creel, Tyra Scott. Quietly does the job of a wing attack and is always available when they are defending. Hayley Jose, very, very fast, very fluid in her movements. She connects the 2 sides very well. And then my shooter would be Aphiwe Tusini, steady, rock solid. You know, she's just the girl she thinks she is, and she knows she is. I would give her all the flowers. Division 2, thank you so much for showing up in this TNL. Usually, Division 2 can be the forgotten child, but this year, Division 2, especially from Power Week 2, you made us watch. You made us want to see what is happening in Division 2. So well done to the players, well done to the coaches, well done to the team managers, and well done to the team doctors. You guys are building and you're doing great things with Division 2. I just wish we had a better format for Division 2. Okay, hey guys, we're back for Division 1. And I just want to say Division 1 disappointed me a little bit because, no, the one semi-final, the others were great. The one semi-final, the first one between Craniums versus the Jaguars, I was very underwhelmed with the Jaguars and the intensity at which they played the game. I don't know, something is wrong or something is up with the Jaguars. They are not the Jaguars of old where you would just be able to say, even if they were down by 10, they'd be able to come back and win it. And I give grace because obviously I think those combinations are new and they have a lot to work on for next season. And lucky for them, they have a whole year to work on it. But I think also the culture, I don't know, it's a bit weird. I don't know if the players believe that they can win, or I don't know what's happening there, but I believe and I trust Coach Roseanne will be able to fix it and work it out. If anyone can, she can, definitely. But yeah, I think when it comes to Division 1, nothing much to say about the Craniums except that they are exceptional. Fireballs, what a team to go down to. It's amazing. They came back from Power Week 1. Then the Southern Stings, I'm so glad that they got to medal this year. They deserved it. They really, really wanted it, and you could tell. And they put in the work and they put in the hours, and just the mental attitude of the Southern Stings is commendable, because it's hard. It's hard playing away from home, and they were playing against a home team in the Jaguars, which that's Rembrandt Hall is their home ground. But you actually found that lots of people were supporting Southern Stings, which was beautiful to see and to hear. I think if we are being honest, Southern Stings can take it if they really want it. And I can't wait for that day to happen, but I'm really happy that they got third place. Going to the awards and the people that got them, we had the player of the tournament, Nontegelelo Mazibuko, a surprise. The emotion that she showed when she got it, I was like, yeah, they picked the right one. I don't know who picks the players of the tournament and all those things, but I would wonder and think, how do they get to that decision? Yeah, how do they get to that decision? It would be interesting to hear and to figure out. But yeah, Nontegela is deserved, because honestly, she stepped up at a time where the Fireballs needed her the most. And she did exactly what was asked of her, and she executed it very well. Her mindset shifted into goal attack, and she was one of the best goal attacks we've seen in a while. Well done to her. Defender of the tournament for Division 1, who else but Carla Pretorius, who deserves it, deservedly. Mid-court of the tournament, Refilo and Getza, second year in a row. Consistency match, Commonwealth Games deserving match, definitely. Shooter of the tournament, Bianca Luba with 93% accuracy. If you're a shooter and you're shooting in the 90s, that means you're doing a really good job. That means you're doing international level job. So well done to her. I can see her in our ranks further along the line in the next 4 or 5 years. So she must keep doing what she's doing. So I think we all want to hear my team of the tournament. The goal shooter of the tournament for me would be Unontigelele Mazibuko. She stood up. Goal attack, Zandri Fari. And I want to say this is hard for me to pick, because I'm not picking on form. I don't believe that form should be something we should fall into and buy into when we're looking at selecting our international representatives. Because if that's the case, then if we rely on form, then what if they don't have that same form when we go into an international series? So I look at statistics. And so what I did was, when I was watching the games, I picked up, okay, this person, so many turnovers, this person, accuracy is high, deflections, interceptions. And that's how I picked my team of the tournament. Not just because I liked these people. I like everyone who's a South African netball player, because they're just lifting up the brand even higher. Well done to them. But essentially, my goal attack was Zandri Fari, deservedly so, from Free State Craniums. Really, if I would toss up between her and Unotigelelo Mazibuko, I would have also given Zandri Fari player of the tournament, because I just think she was never off the court. She was never off the court, not once this whole season. So well done to her. Everyone else from Craniums got time off except her. So well done to her. That means that team revolves around how she play makes and how she dictates it should go. Wing attack, Carla Victor, deservedly so. It was close between her and Sanelisiwe Ndobela. But I chose Carla Victor because Carla Victor showed that she could also help transition into defense if she lost the ball, which was 2 or 3 times that she lost the ball in the whole tournament. But it did take some time for her to adjust to wing attack. But when she got into the frame of mind and she was able to execute, she was exactly where she needed to be. And she distributed that ball very well. She got a lot of goal assists. So a goal assist basically is when you send it to a goaler and they take a shot. Whereas a feed is if it goes into the circle and then it comes back out. So that's the difference between a goal assist and a feed. And she was very high in percentage for me when it came to feed, because that ball was safe in her hands once she got it. Center, again, hard for me to choose, but I had to choose Refilo Nketsa because consistently, she's the one who dictates what happens in those 2/3, and she's able to transition from attack to defense and vice versa in a very beautiful way. And she's worked on this craft. You can see she's calm, she's cool on the ball, and she's very reliable. She kind of gives me a Kate Maloney kind of vibe, where she's a calm head, but she's quick on the ball, she's available, and she knows what she wants to do. So that would be my center. My wing defense, this was a cheat code, Tale Mate, because she played in the final as wing defense. And this whole tournament, she had only played there, I think, at the beginning of the tournament once or twice. But this shows us that Tale Mate can be seen as a defensive mind. She's stuck to Carla Victor like glue. At some point in the second quarter, so what would happen is Carla Victor would go and receive first phase, and then second phase would go to Zandri Fari. But it became so hard for them to get Carla Victor to receive the first phase ball because Tale Mate had covered all her angles. And Tale Mate is the type of player who sticks to the player. So she will look, where's the player, and she'll follow the player. She doesn't care about the ball. And I think that was the directive from Coach Alsha, to look and keep her eye on the player, because Carla was the key in that attacking line, apart from Uzandri, to assist in getting the ball down. So once they shut her down, Carla, it was hard for Ukrainians to be able to move in the system that and play in the system that they know how to play. So that's why Utale has made my wing defense. And also she would be able to switch over to center should we need her. Then my GD, Carla Pretorius. No duh. Not just because she's Carla Pretorius, but because she has played this role in such a beautiful way that it shows her experience and it shows her game smarts. Okay, so Carla, I'm just going to say it, but there were some times where she had her hand hooked on Sammy where the umpire couldn't see and Sammy couldn't move, but she wasn't getting blown for that because she knows the dark arts of a GD from like the back of her hand. And we need that for Commonwealth Games. Then my GK was Cornelia Mupenda. I know Liame Dilanga. Okay, I get it. She's great. But Cornelia Mupenda reads play very well. She's smart and she's assertive in her defense. Like if you are a player, a shooter, or a goal attack, and you have Cornelia Mupenda, you think twice about the ball that you're sending, or someone thinks twice of the ball that they're sending to you. Because this girl will go under, over, around, but she will get the ball and she'll get it cleanly. So that's why she's in my squad. Then my impact players would be Leah May Dilanga, self-explanatory, Nicole Britt, self-explanatory. She did such a great job interchanging with Nareen Koopman in Southern Stings when the attack needed a bit more injection and a bit more experience, and then go back to goal attack. I even saw her play, I think center it was, in Power Week 2. That was a funny moment. Then Danielle van Nieuwenhuizen, my next impact player. I say this because she can switch from wing defense to goal defense as well. And she's a sticker. She sticks to her player. Sanelisiwe Ntobela, and from Fireballs, my wing attack center. Then Amber Horizon as well, wing attack center combination. So that is my team of the tournament for Division 1. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Really love to enjoy what the narrative or what we're going to say, what you're going to say about it. I will be posting it as well on Instagram. So watch out for that. That's my little recap of Telkom Netball League 2026 Season 8. What a season. I can't wait to see what Season 9 has in store for us. And I just want to say the activations during the halftime show, the half times, the quarter times, well done to those people who are involved in that as well, because it kept the crowd involved. And I just want to say well done to us South Africans for supporting and putting up our hands to say we want more netball. Now we're going to go into the chat with Mr. Adam Brooke. We spoke about a lot of things regarding his tenure, what his plan is, and how he's finding it as a CEO of a new sport that he is new to. So thank you so much for listening to this episode. I will catch up with you after. Hello, everyone. We are joined by Mr. Adam Brooke, the CEO of Netball South Africa. Hello, Adam. How are you?
Good, Sola. Thank you. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you for coming onto the podcast.
No problem at all. It's about time, I think.
Wow, okay. Thank you for that. So, talk to us about your first few months as the CEO of Netball South Africa.
Zola, it's been an interesting 4 months, or 3 months, should I say. It's certainly been full on. Working very closely, obviously, with the executive and the team at Netball South Africa. Really just trying to sort out the small things before we start tackling the bigger elements. I certainly believe we're on the right track. From a commercial perspective, we've had a couple of knockbacks, but we've also had some very positive discussions with current sponsors. Obviously, we know that Telkom has renewed their sponsorship for a further 2 years.
That's great.
And we're talking to a lot of the other sponsors about renewals, but we also have had very good and we're at quite advanced discussions with a couple of other sponsors, new sponsors coming on board. So yeah, I think from a commercial perspective, it's looking very good. For me, it's been certainly been a rude introduction to the sport of netball. We've obviously had the TNL for the last couple of months, yeah. So from not going to really watching a netball game to watching 7 or 8 games a day for 10 days in a row, it was certainly eye-opening. But the talent on the court has been absolutely phenomenal. It's certainly created a new fan in netball.
Yes, that's what we want.
Netball's newest fan, and it's been amazing to watch. The camaraderie amongst the ladies on the court is phenomenal. The sportsmanship, just how well they get on, and it's really been good to see the operations of the tournament. I've kind of taken I don't want to say a backseat, but almost a sort of peripheral view of the tournament, so I can actually give my input from an exterior perspective as opposed to getting too hands-on.
Definitely.
So yeah, it's been a busy 3 months, and looking forward to the next 3 months and where beyond.
That's amazing. That's amazing, Mr. Brooke. Talk to us about this commercialization of the sport. I just saw like 2 weeks ago, Splash sponsorship signed as a partner with Netball South Africa to help the portfolio of sponsorship. But how is that going to work? And was that from you personally or as a collective?
Yeah, so my philosophy at this point is not to put all of our eggs in one basket. We're chatting to a number of agencies across the board who obviously have different relationships with different corporates and different potential partners. Yes, we are dealing with Flash. I've known Richard and Joel for a long time. I worked with Richard for a number of years. And you just look at the work that they are doing with Cricket South Africa, with Comrade Marathon, etc., etc. Is Netball South Africa philosophy slightly different to that of the Comrades? I think so. I don't think we would look at onboarding as many sponsors as the Comrades, but a lot of the sponsors that are coming on board with Comrades are assisting them in reducing their costs, which is always a benefit. So yeah, we've obviously had very good discussions with Flash, and they've already brought a couple of partners to the table that we're in discussions with. But then again, we're working with a number of different agencies. With an agency that works with Spa, we've got one with Telkom, one with Hollywood Bets, and then talking to some of the other bigger players as well, the guys that deal with the Springboks and some of the bigger properties. So really trying to get the netball portfolio out there, because we're not going to grow the sport significantly if we don't make a big splash.
Yes.
And it's really now time for, I know I've stated it in a lot of my previous interviews, but it's really time for corporate South Africa to come on board.
Agree.
It's, as mentioned so many times, netball's the largest participated sport in the country. There's a massive focus around women's sports at the moment, but we now need to see that deliver, and corporate South Africa needs to come to the party.
I agree with you on that aspect, is that we do need more corporate sponsors. And I think what's excited me from seeing you as the new CEO is that you have a drive and a passion, from what I've read of your interviews, to grow the sport in a financial way, commercialize it even more, because the people who play the sport want to actually participate. Like, for example, in the TNL, we as supporters would love to have our supporter apparel and buy and get stuff so that our team knows that we're supporting them. And I see where Netball South Africa is trying to take it. And I think with us as supporters, netball supporters aren't very patient. What would you say to a netball supporter right now, like myself, who's looking for that next step in Netball South Africa, TNL, or whatever it looks like for Netball South Africa?
I think, Zola, I don't want to say be patient, but what I do want to say is greatness doesn't happen overnight.
True.
Rome wasn't built in a day. But I think there have been a lot of small changes already that have happened and that people can see.
Yeah.
And I think that will be very noticeable this evening and tomorrow evening when we do the the prize handovers for the winning teams. I think the prize money it's a big step up from last year.
Good.
So I think, there's small elements. We're taking baby steps to get there. But that said, there is a lot of change that needs to happen. And it's not only the responsibility of Netball South Africa, the executive, myself and my office. It's the responsibility of the whole of South Africa. As you say, we need to start creating a Netball Friday. And that is something that we are having discussions about, especially obviously with the World Cup coming up. But it's got to be the responsibility of all South Africans to get behind the sport and get behind the team. And not just the women's team, obviously also the males. The males will be playing tomorrow evening against Eswatini.
Very exciting.
So that's going to be my first males netball match.
Oh my goodness.
So looking forward to watching that. And obviously had quite a few discussions with the coach about his vision and his goals. So there's exciting things happening. But as I say, unfortunately, it's not going to happen overnight. And people do need to have a little bit of patience. But I think what I can say confidently is there's now a team behind Netball South Africa, driven by the president, Mami Diali, who are incredibly passionate about the sport and only wanted to succeed. So yes, it's not going to happen overnight, but I can tell you we are certainly taking strides every day to make netball a better sport in South Africa.
And I think that's exactly what we as supporters want to hear, is that we've been supporting the sport for a very long time and we just want to see it grow. We don't want to see it be stagnant. So definitely want to buy into that. And we'll be looking forward to those prizes that are coming from the TNL and Netball South Africa. You did mention that you are a newbie to netball. Talk to us. How did you even go about getting this job if you just new to netball?
Yeah, so I mean, I am very new. My daughter played, but I think she was in the C team or E team. So it wasn't really to stand. It was a little bit of a hard watch.
Oh, no.
And then I was also roped into a school mixed league. So I have played 2 or 3 games.
What position did you play?
I think it was centre.
Wow.
My frustration was, though, I had no idea about the rules, and every time I got blown up, which was multiple, the umpire, she told me to go and learn the rules. She wouldn't help me along, so it was a little bit frustrating. But no, watching the TNL has really opened my eyes. The quality of the players across both divisions. If we look at the semi-finals of the B division yesterday, the first game between the Sonnerbomber and the Tornadoes was an incredible game. Yeah, it was an absolute classic. And so was the second. So, the Baobabs were well up and the Queens came back and put them.
That's a good, that's netball, hey?
And that was the B division. And obviously we have the A division. I think the final tomorrow night is going to be an absolute cracker.
Definitely.
It's hard to look past the finals, but, you certainly can't write off the finals. Exactly. So I think it's going to be a great contest tomorrow night. But definitely a new fan to netball. And, that's what I think netball's been lacking in the past is we haven't integrated a new fan base.
Yeah, definitely.
As you say, we've become a bit stagnant. We haven't tried to attract a new market. So that is something that is going to be a big focus for me is how do we tap into a new market? How do we tap into men, essentially?
Yeah.
Because if you look inside, it's the majority of the fan base is female, but that really shouldn't be the case. It's an exciting game. It's a fast-paced game. And why aren't there more men and non-family members coming out to watch? And I just don't think they've been exposed to it. So that is something that's quite important to me, both from a marketing perspective, from a ticket sales perspective, and from a fan base perspective, is how do we get that support going? Obviously, there's an onus on the Department of Sport. They also need to come to the party.
Definitely.
And they need to assist us with punting it.
Yeah.
We've got the World Cup next year.
And Commonwealth this year.
Commonwealth, 100%. I do know that the Minister of Sport and the Deputy Minister will be there. So I'm hoping that they will be at a couple of the netball games.
Yes.
But we really need to get them behind the sport of netball in a bigger way.
Yeah. Speaking about exposure, I guess it goes back to people want to see netball on TV, and there's been a lot of
people saying that we're not getting all the games. And I understand we can't get all the games on TV, but what is the next step for us to be able to access more netball, I would say?
So yeah, that's a little bit of a tricky question at this point. We're obviously contracted to SuperSport, and SuperSport are a phenomenal partner.
Very much so, yeah.
They have been a great supporter of netball, and not just NSA, but of netball as a whole.
Yeah.
So it's a case of working with them a bit closer. But I do agree with you. We need to be able to get the sport to the masses. So whether that's on SABC or whether that's via a streaming platform, it's a discussion I need to broach. But it is certainly on my agenda, and it's on my thought process. I had started some conversations with the executive around it, and it is something that's important. But yeah, it's how we go about it. It's a little bit of a touchy subject at the moment, but we'll get there.
And I think for us as supporters, it's just that communication. It has felt for the past few years, before your time and the new executive's time, that there's been a wall that we as supporters couldn't break. And I'm so excited that I get to speak to you now, and in your capacity as CEO of Netball South Africa. And like, what is it that we can look forward to as fans with that wall? Is there still going to be a wall where we can't speak, or is there be no communication, or are we looking to improve that?
100%. We need your support as media and journalists and lovers of the sport as much as you need ours. I think one of the biggest things for me when I was interviewed for the role was the fact that I'm transparent. I'm not interested in politics. Obviously, there is a certain element of it that needs to be managed, but I've got a great executive that can pick that up for me. But yeah, I'm very much about open cards and playing open across the board. So I think I have been pretty open with you now in this discussion.
Definitely.
There are obviously certain things I can say and I can't say, but I'll always let you know. I'm not about pushing things under the table, under the rug, or whatever it's the terminology you would like to use. But yeah, I think working together we can make Netball South Africa stronger. I think with that said, though, we need the help of the media to make the sport better. So it doesn't help if one or other party is going to go work against the other.
I see.
We need your guys' support as much as you need ours, and we ask you, Zola, as one of many journalists and members of the media, to work with us rather than against us. And I think that's a really important message that needs to go out.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think that's why we are here. We want the sport to go across the world. We want people in other countries to watch the Telkom Netball League, because it is such an amazing tournament to have. And I think, Mr. Brooke, thank you so much for your time. And I can tell from your demeanor and the passion in your voice that you have a plan, and we need to buy into that plan. And I think us as supporters and media, we definitely need to come around the table a bit more and not keep our distance. So thank you for opening yourself up and Netball South Africa to my Pass and Pivot podcast. I look forward to getting to know more about what's happening in Netball South Africa, and all the best for your tenure.
Thank you very much, Sarah. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed listening to that interview with Mr. Adam Brooke, the CEO of Netball South Africa. I am not going to touch into Commonwealth Games and teams and stuff like that, because I'm hoping by the time that I record next week, I will have the South African Commonwealth squad released. Because come on, guys, it's less than a month almost. Okay, not really, but we need to know so we can talk about it and we can debate about it. I will see you guys next week, and until then, keep passing, keep pivoting, all for netball and netball for all. Thank you so much for listening to the episode. Don't forget to rate, share, like, and subscribe to my YouTube. Yeah, cool times. Take care. Love you. Bye.